we'll read part together.
Story number 2. It was quiet in the shop without Carla's constant chatter. I was actually getting some work done. The last time I did inventory was when there was snow on the ground. Now it was July, and unusual for there to be so few customers. He was the first person to walk into the shop all day. His brown hair was curly and windswept, and he was wearing a Barnum and Bailey circus t-shirt. As he walked towards the door, his green eyes lit up, and I knew I would be able to make a sale. When he leaned down to enter the shop, it reminded me that I'd been meaning to replace that short door for years. "Hi, welcome to Wheels and Things. How can I help you?" I said. "Hi, I'm just looking for a unicycle to ride in the 4th of July parade. I know it's kind of weird," he said. The truth is, I'd seen him around and knew that he was a great unicyclist. I was simply honored that he would come into my shop. "Let's see what I can do." I went into the back room where the unicycles are kept. For some reason, Carla believes that true cyclists will be put off by a unicycle on display. I carried some of the newer models out to the front so that he could take a look. "These are pretty sweet. Is there pretty big market in unicycles?" "Not really, but I have a soft spot for them. My great-great-grandfather actually invented the unicycle." "Wow, that's incredible. I've just always been drawn to them, ever since I was a little kid." I wasn't entirely telling the truth. Who cares about the invention of the unicycle? The real reason I had a soft spot for unicycles was because of a boy I knew in high school. He spent one entire summer trying to get his horse to ride a unicycle. It never did work out, neither did our relationship. He was now looking at the blue unicycle, which was the more expensive of the two, but I could tell he wasn't ready to make a decision. "If you need some more time to decide, I could let you take one of them home with you and just come back after the parade tomorrow." He would still need to find a bike to ride in the parade, but at least he would be able to feel more comfortable about his final purchase for me. I really was a good saleswoman. "That would be great. I would love to get some second opinions from people who have actually seen me ride." "Okay, then I'll just pack these up for you and see you tomorrow." I went again into the back room and put the unicycles in their respective boxes. There was just a great smell that goes along with new bikes and their packaging. I walked back to him and said, "Here you go, and by the way, my name is Mia." I couldn't let him get away without learning my name. "Thanks, and my name is David," as if I didn't know. Ha. He walked out the door, and I continued on with my inventory. 10 helmets, 13 water bottles, 6 reflective fans. We should probably get some more of those. I spent the rest of the day counting merchandise and helping 2 other customers. One was a middle-aged lady who insisted on sitting on every single bicycle seat in the store. "I have a very sensitive body and cannot possibly ride a bike without a comfortable seat," said customer number 1. The second customer came in and wanted to know the best trail out of town. "You're sure no one will ever see me leave? I can't let anyone see me while I'm riding," customer number 2 said. He seemed really odd and a bit shady. Nonetheless, it was a pretty average day at Wheels and Things. I closed up at 6 p.m. and rode my bike home. It was a present to myself last year. The Orbea Diva TPV was pink and black with silver accents. It had a full carbon frame and was described on BikeCyclingReviews.com as a top-class piece of equipment. What else could a girl need? Not much was the answer. When I got home, I let the dog out and made myself a plate of leftover lasagna. Then I sat on the couch to read a couple more chapters of Gone with the Wind. I planned to finish it by my birthday in June, but it had been harder than I thought with the shop being so busy and all. Eventually, I remembered the dog, Bridget, was outside and let her curl up with me on the couch. Before I knew it, I was fast asleep. The next morning, I rode back to the shop and found Carla there already. She could be a little competitive and would hate herself for taking the previous day off once I told her my news. I knew she would simmer down if I gave her some time, so I went about my business, taking advantage of the silence. After a little while, she was ready to talk. "So, how were things yesterday? I hope you didn't miss me too much." It was a pretty slow day, but I did have one interesting customer. Who was it?" "Well, do you remember the unicyclist I've been telling you about who tried to race in the Tour de France?" "Of course I do. Did they finally let him?" "Cold. Stay focused, Carla." "All right. Who could have come into the shop? Was it the guy?" "Hot. Are you telling me that David Clay came into our shop yesterday?" "Yes." "Are you shitting me? I take one day off and David Clay decides to come in?" "What can I tell you?" I was beaming. It was no secret I was reveling in Carla's displeasure. It served her right for taking the day off from work. I knew she claimed to have been checking out pro shops in the area, but I think she was really just visiting her boyfriend. He moved 2 hours away, most likely to get away from work craziness. I told him he could try out the true high-performance unicycles we're keeping back. "So he rode them around the store? I hope he chose the blue one." "He hasn't decided yet, but I hope he picks that one too." "You don't know?" "Not yet, but after trying them out tonight, he will come back tomorrow with his decision." Are you telling me that you let him take 2 bikes out of the store with him? Yeah, but I told him to return them after the parade was over. Ugh, Mia, you never, ever let a customer try out and take home the merchandise before you buy it. Understand? I don't care if it is David Blake, your niece, or Lance Armstrong. I hadn't really thought that one through. As Carla continued her rant, I gathered my purse and helmet. Before she could stop me, I was out the door and on my way to the parade route. I had to see for myself if David was riding one of my unicycles. I hadn't explicitly told him not to ride the bikes in the parade, but I assumed we were on the same page. As I approached Main Street, I couldn't believe my eyes. Not only was David riding one of my bikes, he was also riding right in the poop left over by the traveling petting zoo. I would not be able to sell a bike that looked used, let alone a bike sporting dried poop. Something would have to be done, and quickly. Who knows how Carlo would react to the mess I've gotten us into. I rode through the parade until I was side by side with him. I need the unicycle back. I'm in the middle of the parade here. Now, I need the bike back now. I was trying to stay calm, but it was really difficult when the entire town was watching me. The other unicyclists were also very distracting. They were wearing fake clown noses and big shoes, not to mention they had horns they were honking relentlessly. I guess you could tell by my expression, by the expression on my face, that I wasn't joking, because he said, "All right, let's go." I used to always joke around, but that was a long time ago. Back at the shop, Carla was barely able to contain herself. She couldn't yell at me outright in front of a customer, let alone David Blake. But she was only able to hold back so much. I hope you enjoyed your ride in the parade, but I'm afraid you're going to have to buy that unicycle. I know, and I'm really sorry. It was a total misunderstanding. David looked miserable. I'm not much for begging, but I couldn't control the falling words that came out of my mouth. It was a misunderstanding, but it was all my fault. I never should have let you take home the bike, David. If I cleaned it up, nobody would ever know the difference. Please, Carla, just let me deal with this. It won't happen again. There, I said it. Even though Carla might be angry with me, there would be no upside in pushing away customers such as David Blake. It better not happen again. All I have is this shock, but you know that. She tells me only every day. I don't understand. I don't want you ruining anything else. With that, she burst into tears and began hitting her head against the counter. David and I looked at each other for a moment before I mentioned to him to leave while he could. I don't know if he realized it, but there were fireworks in that stare. Even if he never set foot in the shop again, I knew I would find ways to see him. The town wasn't that big.
I hate this third story. I don't know why.
So this third story is my longest one at 9 pages, almost.
9.
And the assignment for this was based off of 2 pictures, like 2 mugshots that gave the names, heights, crimes of. Oh, I should have brought this. Well, okay, I won't tell you actually what they look like, but they're based off of real people.
These were real mugshots of real people who they've been now made into greeting cards. So there's an odd caption at the top with the actual mugshot, and as mugshots go, this was not these individuals' finest of moments. And so there was
even as mugshots go.
So there was very little information to go on, and then we have pieced things together and put it into this story.
I don't know how much of this. I was planning on reading like 4 pages, and then I maybe explain the rest.
What do you get?
Yeah.
It's called Carmex case.
The what case?
The Carmex case.
Oh.
Yes.
Her lips seemed very chapped. There was no way to know for sure, but he was almost positive. Between each word was an audible licking of the lips, which would obviously result in chapped lips. David Horowitz was an expert on chapped lips. Ever since he was a little boy, he had been plagued with Carmex addiction. Though it may not sound serious, being a Carmex addict is nothing to take lightly. There were numerous school dances where the girls dismissed him after the first look. His chapped lips always got in the way of what he actually wanted to say. As a man in his prime, when he was only 21, David faced many hardships. Besides his Carmex addiction, David was only 5'5". He believed scientists would eventually find a link between Carmex consumption and height. David was talking with an operator on the telephone, the one with the chapped lips. Her voice was like honey to his ears. If in fact she too had chapped lips, he had to meet this woman. She could be the girl of his dreams, if only he knew her contact information. That would be more difficult to come by. David had already tried calling